Yeah. Yeah, we're here. We're here. You're there. He's there, and I'm here. And there you are. Welcome back to the Sack America. It is a Man Up Monday, February 10th. They've already called off school tomorrow. New sponsor tonight. Compliments of the Redoubtable One, doing what the Redoubtable One does. Redoubtable One things. Tell them what it is, Tommy.
It's a Canada Dry Zero Sugar Ginger Ale and Lemonade. Now,
by the way,
if you haven't had a drink that's made for Pinwhip, you probably haven't had this.
This has got Pinwhip written all over it. Oh, my God. Shit. You couldn't have brought it Friday? Not that I can drink. I'm not working.
You're not working, and you don't have to get the kids ready for school tomorrow.
I don't. We don't do anything tomorrow.
That's the beaut.
I promise I drank all the Pinwhip on Saturday. You missed out on what a fun night that was. Wish you did.
Dude, I passed out.
I know you did. Anyway, welcome back to IDD. For there's no I don't disagree. Segment 1, Super Bowl recap.
Lombardi Loafies abound.
Yeah. I mean, we might have got half our award show in that one game.
Yeah.
Holy Moses.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about diarrhea run amok. I mean, this was like the scene in Dumb and Dumber where the flush doesn't work first meets the. I mean, holy Moses! I mean, I don't even know who took the biggest Loafie.
It's three of them that I can count.
Only 3.
These are
There's more than 3.
These are the main 3 Loafies.
The main 3.
KCO line, Patrick Mahomes, and Andy Reid. Absolute triple Lombardi Loafie right there.
Okay, elaborate, please. Go.
Well, I mean, the Kansas City O-line could not block 4 defensive linemen. Ever. They couldn't block them. They didn't send a single blitz. They sacked Mahomes 6 times.
Pressured him 18.
I mean, pressured him.
3 turnovers.
Almost every fucking dropback. Well, then 3 Mahomes, God. One of them was the O-lineman bumped into him, so I'll give him that one.
Yeah, that wasn't all him.
But, I mean, the pick he threw...
Coming across his body.
The pick 6 that you called. The Lombardi Loafie pick 6 to Cooper DeJean.
That, to me, was the straw that broke the camel's back, based on what I saw on the replay. It was 17-0. That was it, right there.
No, but...
They broke right there.
No, but then, when he threw them where he got bumped and threw it, then the game was absolutely... I mean... Because they had the ball with 2 minutes left, 17-0. He throws the pick in their own red zone. Mm-hmm. That was terrible.
Oh, that was.
I mean, oh my God! It was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But then, so you have, Mahomes just. I've never seen him scared like that, because even in the Tampa Bay game, which it was a kind of a similar game.
It was 21-0. 21-3 at the half.
Right. It was a very similar game in terms of the dominance of the defense. But Mahomes didn't look like dog shit the way he did last night. I mean, he was just missing throws. There was a throw to DeAndre Hopkins that, first of all, he should have caught. But he is wide open, and Mahomes basically makes him die for it. Mahomes is out of the pocket. There's nobody near him. And he doesn't put the ball on him. It was very surprising. And then Andy Reid, dude, you can't stop the D line, and you run the ball 7 fucking times.
Right there.
What the fuck are you doing?
Right there.
What? That's awful.
Yeah.
Now I get it. One of the keys I said for KC was like, you got to get up early, and they didn't. But to totally, when you really can't get any kind of drop back, you can't get 2 seconds back there. He couldn't get a second and a half, and you don't think, hey, maybe we need to do short passing game, some runs.
Screens, sprint draws.
Well, the problem with the screens were they weren't blitzing, so they would have picked those up.
But to get around this, here's the thing, and everything you're saying is accurate. But what was the third, Loafie? The line you said,
yeah. So it was because I mean, the line really just couldn't play with them.
Let's be clear about something. There weren't many lines in this league that could block that 4. So to pick on Casey for that is kind of like, yeah, show me a line that could stop him, because I didn't see one really all year. So, but here's the thing about that.
Yeah, but I mean, there's been teams that scored against.
But here's the thing about that. Yeah, but those other coaches made adjustments. Mm-hmm. This is where Andy Reid takes a major hit, because Andy Reid has watched more film probably in one season than I'll ever watch in my lifetime about football. And he's regarded as the second greatest offensive mind in history behind Bill Walsh, who he's off that tree. And are you going to stand there and tell me that looking at the film, they had 2 weeks to prepare for this front four.
Yeah.
You're going to tell me that you didn't deduce in those 2 weeks that your line could not straight up play those guys? You should have figured that out before.
First 5 plays were all passes.
Yeah, I'm just saying he didn't even, because this is the thing. He put it all on Mahomes. Mm-hmm. And the problem with that is if they can drop 7,
that's impossible.
I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
Okay,
so and they're good in coverage.
They're good and their corners they have stout corners on top of
right.
it. So this is where Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. I'll tell you what, and everybody has said it, but I'm going to say it up, and I'm going to hammer it home because to me, I turned it on. I didn't watch the entire first half. I shut my phone off. I had no interest in this game. I predicted the Chiefs because I thought the refs would get in the way. I had no idea what was going on. I turned it on in the third quarter, just like, let's see what it is. And when I saw 27-0, I almost shit my pants.
That was crazy.
I'm like, whoa, what the fuck happened? So now, I'm like, and here's the thing. As I turn it on, the Chiefs have the ball. It's like second down. They're going towards midfield. They get close. It's like 4th and 2.5. They're down 27-0. They got to go for it. I don't blame them for that.
Is that when they throw the out?
The one out in the flat that Mahomes he didn't step into it. He didn't. The throw was wobbly. It was behind.
And it was to the far side.
And the guy was
field.
there on top of it. He was there. He wasn't open. Guy tips it away. I'm like, oh, all right. Well, this is over now. They're going to run it out. Well, this is where I give Philly credit. Philly did not run the ball. They came out in a play action and they dropped the hammer. They dropped the hammer. They said, "No, you're done. You're not coming back."
Was that the Devontae Smith?
That was the bomb to Devontae Smith. That was the Hulk Hogan like drop. Mm-hmm. That was the knockout the champ. You're done. Yeah. Fuck you. You're done. It was 34-0. I have never, ever seen Tom Brady take a beating like that. Even on his worst day, he never took a beating like this. This was and it wasn't just Mahomes, but Mahomes didn't help to his point with the 2 interceptions and the fumble. But at the end, that was just the icing on the cake. Like 4 guys, and the guy hits him in the face, and wow, they didn't call that one. What do you know? Because even the refs are like, "Fuck it, this is over. We can't help him." That was just the
every
ultimate,
call went Philly's way except the first call of the game,
which was bogus.
Yeah, but I mean, he pushed him in the face. But after that, every single call, there was a really bad. What do you call it? Unnecessary roughness call where a linebacker hit Saquon after a little
I saw that he knocked him on the ground.
Yeah, and
that's a bad. You shouldn't have done that.
No,
that's
that
stupid.
That wasn't.
That was a foul. That was a foul.
He pulled up.
The ball went by. He hits him, knocks him on the ground. That's a foul. And Saquon isn't one to embellish. I don't think he knew he was there.
I thought he pulled up on that.
I don't think he did.
Then the other bonehead
I saw the replay
shit,
of that one.
The other bonehead shit was...
That was a boneheaded play by the Chiefs more than anything else.
I didn't think that... I thought that was a bad call. But,
I didn't.
But then, when the fucking guy lines up off sides...
His arm...
I was watching it, and I go, the guy's off sides. They blitz Hurts. They get to him. They tackle him for a 10-yard loss. And they call the offsides because this guy lined up past the fucking football.
God, he was way past
in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and the thing is, from the how can he not? If he just
I
looks,
can see him from
the worst part because they showed that one too. Like if he just looks down the line, he knows
he's
offsides.
His head was past
everything
the ball.
Was past the ball.
Not just his arm, his head.
I'm saying Loafie's abound.
God,
Loafies.
And they pressured Hurts. And they sacked him for like a 10-yard loss.
You know, your timing is impeccable in a lot of ways, but I think the Lombardi Loafie that he invented, I think we have a definition of what it would look like.
It came to life.
That's what it would look like. What the Chiefs did. That's a Lombardi Loafie.
It really is.
All of it. Every single one of it.
Game.
The entire game. All of it. Loafies. I mean, these were fresh, steamy, right out of the oven. I mean, these were those kind of loafies. Yeah. I mean, they were steamy. I mean, the stench you could. When people are going, woo!
Steamy, but rock hard, just
steamy.
Bam! They came out like Snickers bars. Steamy. Snickers bars, boom, right in the pants.
I mean, and then there was no. Where were the halftime adjustments? None. I mean, so
they came out. They ran the ball to Pacheco, and then. But at that point, you're down fucking.
You're down 24 to nothing.
I mean,
like, what are you doing? I mean, this brought me back to, and somebody said it was Maserati said it today, and I thought that's where my head went. The difference was the Patriots actually scored first in that game against Chicago before they got boat raced. But this was just like that. The difference was the Patriots went down the field. Stanley Morgan, one of my drops a touchdown that he should have caught. Does it change the game? I doubt it because it was 46-10. I mean, the Patriots scored first. The Patriots scored first, and then they scored last.
Yeah.
It was 46-3, and they got a garbage touchdown at the end. Which, by the way, this is the other thing. It's 40-6 with 7 minutes, 8, whatever. It's over. And now Mahomes. Now they're trying to pad their stat padding. This is a joke. You could stand there and tell me, well, they're not going to quit.
Now you finally took a shot to
It's
Xavier Worthy.
40-6.
Why didn't you take a shot to Xavier Worthy when you were down 17-0?
There's no playbook for 40-6 with 8 minutes to go. No. None. It's over. It's over. So why is he even in there? Oh, well, get him one more. You get 2 more times to get popped again. I mean, and a turnover, so we got that too. But I mean, talk about 2 of the most useless touchdowns ever. Like, okay, so Mahomes' numbers for people that didn't see the game will go, oh, they actually weren't that bad. Oh, you didn't see the first 3 quarters of that game. I mean, so that was a beatdown of epic.
It was such a boring
It was
game.
a beatdown. I swear to God, I was so mad I didn't watch it because this was exactly what I was hoping for. Because this was for all the donkeys out there, and most of them are the same idiots who voted for the sweet potato Hitler. Because you're all fucking stupid that thought this donkey was on the same level of Brady. No. No, motherfucking no. And by the way, the quickest way to get rid of a pass rush is to get the ball out of your hands fast. This guy kept holding on to it, running around, dancing around, just daring them to hit him, and thinking he could outmaneuver all of them. And I'll tell you what, Philly was very disciplined. They kept him in the pocket for the most part, and those 4 guys went straight to Philly. They didn't fuck around.
But the thing is,
they trapped him. They trapped him.
Because they pressured up the mid. Like, the 2 dogs in the middle, he couldn't come up the middle.
I mean...
And then when they pushed and the ends came in, the offensive line could do nothing.
Here's when you know it's a mismatch. Philadelphia played a base defense. Mm-hmm. They stunted none, 0. No blitzes, no tricks, no nothing. They came right at them. They showed them what they were going to do because they knew they couldn't stop it. And unlike every other stupid coach, here's where I got to give this guy credit. And I think Joel said something about it. I had my phone turned off. So I turned on my phone this morning to a bunch of texts. Somewhere in the midst of all that was where I think Joel finally gave this guy his props, this coach. This is the first coach since the game they lost to Brady where the guy just didn't overthink it. Mm-hmm. He's like, we're the better team. I'm not going to do anything. Yeah. And if they want to stop Saquon Barkley, which you said they had to do, this guy can torch them, and he did.
Yeah.
He didn't overthink it. Hey, Jim Harbaugh, are you hearing me? He didn't overthink it. Mm-hmm. And if you hadn't overthought it, and if Buffalo had, you could have done it too. They weren't that fucking good.
Baltimore would have put up a better fight.
Baltimore would have put up a way better fight because they can run the ball. Mm. They were the number 1 rushing team in the league this year. Philly was number 2. Yeah. So it would have been a way better game if Baltimore was here. Yeah. But Baltimore's too stupid to be here because their coach is a card-carrying member of the Loafie fan club. Okay, he's in the fraternity, Loafie fraternity. Yeah. Harbaugh. I mean, Harbaugh is a Loafie in of itself. A Harbaugh Loafie. So I love this and look. It was 80, the stance 80-20 Philly, Taylor Swift is from Pennsylvania, but now she's a Chiefs fan, so we're getting booed isn't the end of the world. That was more for show. That wasn't that big of a deal. Don't make a big deal out of that.
That was just Eagles fans.
Yeah, Eagles fan boo because she's a Kansas City fan. What do you think they're going to do when they put her on the screen and it's 80-20 from what they were saying?
Well, I saw somebody say people were booing her because she voted for Kamala, and I was like, that was a total Eagles fan.
Donald Trump got booed. I have a picture of a guy looking at Donald Trump in his box, flipping him off with 2. You want to see it?
Yeah, but he got cheered too.
He got more boos. He got
when
more.
They showed him. I heard cheers.
Yeah, I heard more boos than cheers.
You weren't watching it.
No, when I saw the replay of it, I recorded it. Okay, he got more boos than cheers. But the bottom line is, he also
went back and watched.
He picked. Well, I did when I saw the score. It was beautiful. It couldn't have. The only way it could have been better. And,
I hated it.
And Murray would have been right. Murray was right on this. Is if they shut them out. They didn't hold the shutout. That would have been the only. On a scale of 1 to 100, it was probably a 99. That's the only thing they didn't do.
But then the other thing is, you're down I think it was 34-0. You score a touchdown and go for 2. For what? What are you going for 2 for? If you score 4 touchdowns worth 8, you're still at 32.
You still have to score the 5th touchdown.
Right. I mean, what do you? Then you don't get it. So now the one positive you have, you only scored 6 points.
I mean, when you think
it was just a complete and utter loaf job.
To your point, when you think about it, I don't know who had the bigger Loafie, Mahomes or Reid. It's close.
I think it was Reid because Mahomes was out there running for Mahomes. I don't think he anticipated his line getting dominated that badly.
What tapes were they watching?
Dude, they have
Kansas City did not have a top 5 offensive line all year. No one disputes that. They were not a top 5 rushing team. No one disputes that. They only broke 30 once. That was 2 weeks ago. No one disputes that. What made you think from the tapes, from every game, that line was going to hold up straight up against that 4? And honestly, the Philly didn't do anything. They played a base nickel.
They just beat that
They
offensive
beat the
line.
shit because they're like, we don't have to do anything. We're better than you. That case, it's on the coach here and the quarterback. Patrick Mahomes, what? You can go up to the line and audible.
Yeah.
Okay, you can call a different play. I mean,
the problem is, though, it was 3 and out. I mean, it was just like, before you knew it, the game was over.
Rushing 7 times in the entire game. And they're in a base nickel. First of all, if they're in a nickel, you are running. I don't care if you pick up 3 yards in a cloud of dust. If you do it twice, it's 3rd and 4. It's manageable. Yeah. This is the thing about, the Patriots would be, okay, we'll take 3 yards in a cloud of dust. We'll do it twice and then get Brady in 3rd and 4 in the shotgun.
Right,
and see what happens. I'll take my chances with Tom Brady all day long. They should have had the same approach.
A couple times they had 3rd and 5, he dropped back, he got hit. Yeah. I mean, it was a complete fold job. It was folding chairs, that offensive line, turnstiles.
This is where I don't understand Andy Reid, because he's supposed to know more about this than me. If you got a guy that can run a 4-2.
Worthy?
Yeah. Why aren't you in every 3rd and manageable? Is he not coming in motion and doing a hot route off the line where you get something quick where you get him in space and he can run after the catch? I didn't see any of that.
Even a reverse.
Something.
I mean,
there
was nothing.
Nothing. Everything was downfield.
There was nothing.
Everything was downfield into a 7-man drop.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, then you're just giving. I don't understand this.
Yeah, and it was. So they were deeper routes that were crossing the field. So Mahomes has to wait for the shit to develop. Yep. And by that time, he's running for his life.
And by the way, Travis Kelce got pantsed.
Yeah, he did.
He got pantsed. I'll tell you what. By the way, of all the debates that ended yesterday, the Kelce Gronk one ended. Gronk would never have got beat like that blocking.
Was the thing.
Kelce got pantsed.
Putting him on the edge of the line to block was a joke.
He got pantsed.
He was just letting guys go by him.
Pantsed.
It was bad.
You want to know the difference between Gronk and Kelce? Go watch that tape again. That is why Gronk is 10 times. Gronkowski would have put that guy on the ground. I've got a video of him planting Ray Lewis. He'd have put that guy on the ground. He wouldn't have thought twice. Kelce is a bitch. He's a bitch. He's a pass-catching little bitch. And when he had to go in and block, and they turn around, come on, Patrick, get out of it. I'm open. One time he was behind the plate and he put his hand up like I'm open as Patrick's getting sacked. I'm like, you donkey. Like, what a donkey. I watched the whole replay of this morning. I'm like, you've got to be shitting me. What a donkey he is.
Celtics 0, Heat 0. This game's already been played.
Yeah, that says final, though. See? Look at the stats.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an ESPN error, not us. So look at Kelce got pantsed. Mahomes got pantsed. Reid got pantsed. It was beautiful. Every discussion of this dynasty matching up to is over. It's over. The Patriots. Brady lost 3 Super Bowls by a total of 15 points. Patrick Mahomes has lost 2 by 40.
Brady was terrible last night. Oh my God.
It was awesome. He kept saying Patrick.
He couldn't stop saying Patrick. It was so.
You know why?
Now, look here. Now, Patrick is backing up, and then Patrick sees him in the flat. But Patrick is trying to throw the ball. But Patrick, he's not getting enough time.
He's wetting himself right now because Patrick's coach doesn't know that Patrick can't do this.
Does Tom Brady know what a pronoun is? You can say he.
Patrick.
You can say he.
Ultimate show of respect. First name. Patrick.
Every time?
Every single time.
No, that's ridiculous.
And the thing is, when I saw his text this morning before I watched
text?
Well, you were just, you actually say in one of the texts, can Brady say something other than Patrick?
That was last night.
Yes. I was like, what is it? And then I watched the game.
Me and John were cracking up because John kept imitating it, and John was like, Patrick's insanely talented,
yes,
but Patrick just can't complete a pass.
Right now, Patrick doesn't know his ass from his elbow. Probably because his elbow was up his ass because this pass.
You know what it reminds me of when Dan Orlovsky calls Matthew Stafford Matthew. I hate it. Now,
see, these are two sets of Tommies, but you should save these.
It's just like Matthew.
Save these.
Matthew is a veteran. Matthew is a Hall of Famer. Matthew really knows how to read it. Just shut the fuck up. It's Matt Stafford. Oh, Matthew.
Thomas doesn't like that because Thomas knows. You say it much time. Thomas is going to get upset.
No, I mean,
and I would be remiss if I didn't tell these people that my co-host Thomas is not going to like.
Hey,
this.
look, Ronald.
And if Thomas seems to go
Ronald
off,
knows what Ronald knows, and if
Ronald
Ronald says it, Ronald means it.
That's right.
Because Ronald is the highly questionable one. And if Ronald is going to be on the show, Ronald's going to speak his mind.
Absolutely. There'll be no question when Ronald's done. You can ask all the questions you want before, but rest assured, Ronald's going to answer those questions.
But I will say this: seeing the Eagles win didn't make me as mad as I thought it might. Luckily, Travis, Saquon didn't have 3.
He didn't. Yeah, they shut him down.
That I will say this:
they did shut him down.
I will say the one unit that didn't loaf was the Kansas City defense, because they were on the field the entire fucking game, the whole game. The Kansas City defense was on the field. They picked off Hurts once. They got some pressure on him. Yeah. They shut down Saquon. Yep. Sure, they gave up some plays. Okay, but
Hurts beat them with his legs.
Right, Hurts fucked them.
Hurts outplayed Mahomes again.
It's too bad they didn't spy Hurts enough.
Yep.
But I think they were dropping back to they had guys in the run and they had guys trying to fuck with those receivers.
Yeah.
The Eagles are the most complete team in the league.
They are.
And
they're loaded. And they draft well, and they go get guys in free agency. They're not afraid to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
And they had a problem that really nobody other than probably Detroit, if they were healthy, could have solved. Because Detroit's probably the one team that had the offense that could have matched them. But that game never happened. Yeah. Now, Detroit had 18 people on injured reserve, and that's a big reason why.
Right.
But the thing is, I said this to Lawton when we did the show last week when he was giving it. I said, why was KC a 1.5 point favorite? What were people looking at? And that's what ticked me off, or made me think, the refs are going to get in this. Because only one reason Vegas does shit like this. Because honestly, if you look at the two tapes of those two games, KC should have been a 5-point favorite at least.
Yeah.
At least, given what they did to Washington.
Philly
should have been a 5-point favorite at least, given what they did to Washington, who came in hot. They shut them. I mean, it was close for about a half, but Philly ran them over. We just ran them over in the second half. And so, KC struggled to beat Buffalo at home. Yeah. So, I mean, no, I don't understand it. But again, I am.
Well, that's why I picked Philly, because I was like, I don't see how they win this game.
I only saw one scenario, and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
For the first time, it didn't happen. And by the way, DeAndre Hopkins, who I have a ton of respect for, but how dare you come out this morning and talk about the refs? Dude, in the first half, you had 23 yards of offense. Your quarterback had a QBR of 1.
Right.
1. Are you telling me the refs caused that?
You dropped an open pass.
You dropped an open pass. Where do you get the right? This wasn't close. Here's the thing, and I preach this all the time as a coach. Make it so the refs can't influence the game. That's all Philly did. They blew you out so bad, it wouldn't have mattered what the refs called. Mm-hmm. It was over.
Yeah.
It was over at halftime. When I'm like, this thing is over. I'm like, this is a joke. Yeah. So, I mean, kudos to Philly because they were the better team. They didn't wet themselves. They didn't overthink it. They just said, we're better than you. We're gonna do anything crazy. We're just going to come straight in, straight nickel. We're going to kick the shit out of you. And they did. They did.
They should have done this the last time. Mm-hmm. They really should have.
They overthought it the last
time. They had the better team.
They had the better team 2 years ago.
But also,
they didn't have Saquon.
Their defensive line couldn't get to Mahomes. No. That was that dude. Yeah. The pressure on Mahomes changed the whole game, and I don't know if Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes just thought, they didn't touch us 2 years ago. They're not going to touch us now. I don't know if that's
well, Philly on paper had the better defensive line 2 years ago. That was the team that set all the records.
That was, one of the greatest defensive lines.
But again, if you're looking at the tape of what this defense did from pretty much Thanksgiving on, what are you looking at?
Yeah, they were the best
What
team.
told you that you could drop him back into a 7-step drop, send everybody down the field, and what were you looking at? Because Jaden Daniels is every bit as mobile as Mahomes is. He couldn't get away from them. Yeah. So why would you think Mahomes was going to do it?
Well, Jaden Daniels did better than Mahomes.
He did, but he knows them. He sees them twice a year. Yeah. But that's the other thing. Yeah. He does know them, and he struggled. Right. Like, what made you think Mahomes was going to fare better than that guy when athletically they're basically the same? Mm-hmm. They're basically the same. And Daniels has the edge because he has seen them, whereas Patrick hadn't seen him in 2 years.
Well, Jaden Daniels is more athletic than Patrick.
He is, but he struggled to get away from them. Yeah. So if Andy Reid is looking at that tape, where were the quick screens? To your point, the reverses to Worthy.
Yeah,
where were the things?
No misdirections.
To get nothing. Where was the stuff to get the ball out before that team could dig its teeth into the line?
Right.
That tells me you didn't understand the size of the advantage that they have. Or you didn't believe it. Whatever it is, you didn't believe it.
Or you just felt like you couldn't win. I mean, did you go in with your head between your legs?
I don't know. I don't believe.
I don't see how they would have.
I don't think he's like that. You don't win 3 Super Bowls.
It certainly seemed like they got punched in the mouth and
never responded.
Didn't know what the hell to do.
They were in the corner. Uncle.
Yeah.
It was
like they had plan A.
There was no plan
and
B.
no other plan. And that's an issue.
Which, by the way, when it's the Super Bowl and you have 2 weeks, you always have a plan B because it is the Super Bowl. Yeah. There is no tomorrow. And it's a legacy game. For me, it's beautiful. Because every one of these guys that they keep putting in there with Brady and Bill and Gronk, every one of their legacies took a hit yesterday. A bad one. Now, again, they're not done. Doesn't mean they can't come back if they address the offensive line and get, they got to.
Well, this is what happened when they got the shit kicked out of them by Tampa. They addressed the O-line. Mm-hmm. They rebuilt their team. Yeah. But
Kelsey's getting
old.
Yep.
DeAndre Hopkins is not the.
You don't have Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill was on that team. You had to replace him. You still haven't really done that. Although Worthy, from his talent, has the speed.
They never replaced him.
They never really replaced him. So you've been doing it with your reputation more than anything else the past 2 years. So.
And this year, I was talking to one of my friends I work with, and he goes, "That's the worst 15-2 team I've ever seen in my life."
17. Well, I said on the show, I'm like, when does the dam break? Something's got to give here. Either Philly, and again, the key thing here is Philly didn't overthink it. They said, okay, if you put 7 in the box, I've got these 2 all-pro receivers, and I'm going to use them.
Right.
And that's all I got to do because they couldn't cover them. And I said that. They can't cover them. Mm-hmm. That's the other thing about Spags. I'm like, and we said run blitz on first down, get them in second and long. I think they did that for the most part. But then when you get them in second and long, you got to do a better job of cutting off those quick routes and make, because then if you got to kind of do to them.
The times they did that, then Jalen
I'll tell you what,
out.
Their front 4 was nowhere near as disciplined as Philly's.
No.
Because how many times did Hurts break contain up the middle?
Yeah.
That never should have happened.
It wasn't. I don't know that it was that. It was they were getting mauled.
But when they got up and he stepped up in the pocket, if there was no one there, Hurts took off right up the middle.
How many times did Hurts step back with like 3-4 seconds? I mean, clean pocket. Like, that offensive line.
They were the best offensive line.
My
this
God,
side of Baltimore all year.
Enormous.
Yeah, 366, 336, 338.
And if you just watched the O-line when the ball was hiked, the D-line would move back like 2 yards.
Yeah.
It seemed like.
Even Chris Jones could not get there.
He couldn't get past Mekhi Becton, who
was
was a throwaway by the Jets.
Coaching matters.
The Eagles, in terms of GMing, coaching, talent, they're set up for 4 to 5 years.
They're not going anywhere.
No.
Which is the thing about it with, again, now Detroit is there, and if they're healthy, they're going to have something to say about it because they have the firepower.
And I think if the Commanders draft right.
If the Commanders get Myles Garrett in the trade, I would, if I'm the Commanders, that's my first phone call.
They also need to have a couple more good drafts.
Yeah.
And they'll be able to start fighting back.
Yeah.
Because they have a quarterback.
Yep, they have a quarterback, and they've got a number 1 receiver. They've got some things.
Yeah.
You got to get a guy. Myles Garrett. He won NFL Defensive Player of the Year. He's in his prime. If I'm Washington, they should have called that guy already. Or called the Cleveland. What do you want? Because honestly, you get him. Yeah. He changes everything for a defense. He does. He's like Chris Jones.
Yeah.
He does. So look, kudos to Philly. Congratulations to Joel. They got their second Super Bowl. They did it in dominating fashion.
Boring game though.
And well, only if you're a Chiefs fan.
Or anybody else watching it.
No, I loved the replay this morning.
Well,
it was like breakfast. It was like.
But you were watching it like an Eagles fan.
No, I was watching it like a Chiefs hater.
Right. So Chiefs hater, Eagles fan.
It
was great.
I don't love the Eagles.
I said Chiefs hater or Eagles fan. Yeah. It was a great game.
Yeah,
for everybody else, it was just boring.
I have no love for Philly, but
we're not going to see any drama. There
was
the zero drama.
There wasn't going to be drama in that game.
I know, it sucks.
The only drama usually comes when the opposing team wets themselves and overthinks it. That's why there's drama with KC. Okay, they literally they should not have got here. They should not have got here. But too many teams wet themselves in the regular season that enabled this to happen. Your friend said it worst 15-2 team ever. Yes, I would agree.
Yeah.
Yes, I would agree. Patrick Mahomes didn't have a good year. He had 26-11?
Well, like, remember when
Brady's
you said,
last year was better than that.
Remember when you said last week was the first time they went over 30 all year? Wasn't that true?
32.
2 weeks ago?
2 weeks against Buffalo at home.
Jeez.
First time all year.
That's crazy.
That wasn't Mahomes' magic.
No.
That was smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
And teams wetting, like Baltimore wetting themselves in week 1.
Yeah.
I mean, I did like Denver getting an extra point blocked that would have, like a field goal that was extra point that would have beat them in Denver, beat them in KC.
Yeah.
I mean, these teams, some teams wet themselves because of these two, and Philly just was like, what are we doing? Just line up and kick the shit out of them. You're better than them.
Yeah.
It didn't take them 2 weeks of tape to figure it out. Plus, here's the other thing. Philly had all the incentive. They got that Super Bowl 2 years ago. They never forgot it. Let's be clear about something. This was revenge as much as anything else because they thought they should have won that game, and they should have won that game. And it was a questionable call. Could have been called, could not have been called. We can debate on that all day long.
They left it too close.
The point is,
that
they were like, you know what? These refs aren't going to. I don't give a shit what these refs say. It's going to be close enough to matter. It was 195 yards to 23 in the first half. That's called the refs ain't gonna matter.
Epic beatdown.
Epic beatdown. Chicago Bear 85 beatdown. Okay, that's what that was. Okay, so, yeah, man, it's going to do it for segment 1. Segment 2, we're going to come back, we're going to talk NBA. Celtics, Knicks.
Talk about another beatdown.
Saturday night in the Garden, Mr. Tatum remembered it was the Garden and played like it.
Oh, the Mecca.
It's not the Mecca.
It's the Mecca.
Thank you. He said my 7
out of here. It's the Mecca, you shit yourself.
Segment 2, I have a feeling we're going to see bitter in segment 2. Coming right
Not
up.
bitter, realistic, Tom.
I like it when it's angry. He's